What's up, guys? I hope you're all having a great weekend. Today we've got Solrazr. Solrazr is a launchpad built on the Solana blockchain and it is looking pretty sexy. As we all know, Solana is fast and it's cheap. So what do you expect from Solrazr? You expect it to be fast and cheap. And what do you expect from all the IDOs that are within the launchpad? You expect them to be fast and cheap as well, but also, of course, to be good projects that we can build on a little bit in the longer term that we know are going to give us high returns at the start of the project at the IDO launch, but also in the couple of months after that. So let's have a look at Solrazr itself. The website looks pretty detailed to me. They have a lot of information from the launchpad itself, but also a lot of information from all the specific IDOs, which I really like. So we'll quickly go through the main page here. As you can see, Solrazr is the first decentralized developer ecosystem for Solana. Right now, there are just over 9,000 people staking their tokens with a total value staked of $7.5 million. So the amount of tokens staked is $4.5 million. If we look at the price, you can see it here already. It is $1.6. The amount of tokens in supply are close to 11, 10.8 million, and market cap is 17.6. We've got coin market cap open here as well, so it probably has to be updated on the website. As you can see, it's going down a bit as we speak. By just refreshing the page, it's dropped 4 cents. It is sitting at $1.47. As we know, Bitcoin itself is dropping. The whole market is dropping. Has been for the last couple of days already. There's been a couple of recovery moments through the last 48 hours probably. But overall, things are going down a little bit. For me, that's a positive. I always like the whole market going down. Although all other people are kind of scared from it. People are getting afraid of what's going to happen with Bitcoin. What is the point where it goes back up? What's the recovery point? Are we going down a little bit more? We can definitely expect, we don't really know for sure, but we can definitely expect it to be either sitting here for a little while or drop a little bit lower even. And that means probably that most other coins will do the same thing. They will follow. For me, this just means entry points, right? I covered a couple of other launchpads over the last couple of days as well. Same thing, Game Zone, what we did yesterday is an awesome launchpad and has a very good entry point to me too. And VLSpad, which is built on the VLS chain, same thing. So Solrazr is sitting at $1.50 right now. As you can see, it dropped down quite a lot from $1.80. So dropped down close to 20% all the way up to $1.50 right now. Exactly why, we're not too sure. There's no announcements. There's nothing in the news. No IDOs that were performing badly or anything like that. So might just be the market that it's just following the market itself, right? If we look overall, what we know is that Solrazr launched for 30 cents per token. So it's sitting at a 5x from its original IDO price. It's been up to $16, close to $16 all the way at the launch, which is obviously insane. Did like a 50x from the original IDO price. But as most projects that launch, as most launchpads that launch, it drops down a little bit again and it finds like a easy water floating around at a certain price. It was sitting in between of the $3 and $4, and now because the market goes down, it is sitting at roughly like $1.50. Right. So we know $1.50. We will see the tier system. There's 4 different tier systems, which we will get to in a second. As for me, I think it's pretty affordable to get into Solrazr, which I think is one of the big positives of this launchpad. The projects that they're launching are pretty decent, and because it has a pretty low entry point, it is easy also for people with a smaller budget to participate, which is this article here about as well, which we will get to in a second. I've prepped it all for you guys already. But here, these are the IDOs launching. So this one launched on the 6th of January. They hold a little bit of a different system where they open up the IDO for quite a long time. Most of the times it's like 1 hour, 2 hours, sometimes like 12 hours, but full is full. With these, they open it up for like 2 days sometimes. So Starbucks, that's going on now. I think here you go. You can see like the whitelist is live, so you have to fill out the whitelist form. If we look at Starbucks itself, you can see the way they handle it is you have to fill out a whitelist. All the different tier systems there are, you need to fill out a whitelist form, just simple social media type of actions that you need to do, follow this, like this. It's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. But it is live for another whole day, so for another 24 hours, just a little over 24 hours. This one is live. You can participate in the whitelist to secure your spot. This is cool. So this is done with all the other projects as well. There's a lot of detailed information from all the projects out there, so you don't have to go and search whether you like the project yourself or not. Everything is here on the website. So the token, the accepted like dollar that's against to it, or token that's attached against to it. The IDO price 10 cents, initial market cap 1.6 million, and the pool size. So I like this as well, $275,000. It's quite a lot, especially for fairly new or smaller Launchpad compared to other bigger Launchpads. I keep mentioning CDFI, for example, which I'm a big fan of as well. And those guys, CDFI being one of the biggest ones out there, they don't even always have an total. They don't even raise $275,000. Sometimes they do, but you know, you see ones out there that are $770,000, $200,000. What does this mean? More allocation for everybody, which you can see here. So these are the tiers. They explain it a little bit more on the first page, but here you have Mighty Oak, you have Tree, Sapling, Seed, and Soil. Allocation for the biggest one, it's I believe always the same, 250. After that you get 200, 150, $150, right? And then here you see key dates for Starboard's IDO. So this is pretty awesome. The application whitelist form starts on the Friday the 7th, which was yesterday. It closes on Sunday the 9th, which is tomorrow, so it's open for 2 days. Whitelist winner announcements is on the 10th, and then the IDO opens up on the 10th as well and closes up on the 11th. KYC cutoff date is this. So this is when you're able to put your money in, right? Same thing, you're able to put your money in for a whole day, which is cool. You don't have to rush into it to make sure that you're the first. There's always a first come first serve type of structure afterwards as well, so usually they don't get filled up. And then keep things in mind, so this is pretty basic information, and here what you can see about the project is a lot of information. So this is about the project they're launching, about what is it called, Starbots itself. Starbots is like a game, crypto game built on the Solana blockchain, has unique features. The gameplay looks awesome, looks very detailed, looks really thought through, which is always kind of gives a little bit of trust and a little bit of confidence. The tokenomics are here as well. Public sales 100%, so they have 100% TGE here. I think they mentioned it somewhere else, but 100% TGE, so you can definitely expect a bit of a drop at the start of the launch. But the cool thing is that we're in it to make money. We're usually in the launch pads to make money. We're not really in it for the projects itself, right? So 100% TGE at launch might not be very good for Starbots, but it's definitely good for us as investors into the Launchpad, which then again kind of makes it good for Solrazr as a Launchpad as well. Why? Is because we don't have to wait for allocation to come later on. We put as much money as we can in. Let's say we have the highest tier, 250, and we get our profit, 5x, 10x, 100x, 1x, 50% gain, whatever it might be. And straight away we have our profit there that we can use for something else. We don't have to wait on it. And I really like that. I would rather have just a 50% gain on like my initial investment and have it out of there in 30 minutes later than have like a 10x, but I have to wait for like 3, 4, 5, 6 months, right? Because you don't have that money until you're able to take it out months later. So these are the tokenomics, right? We don't have to go into the tokenomics of this game itself, but they have explanation of the team. They have the partners and investors that are involved here. You can see Good Games Guild. I really like Good Games Guild. Got a video on the top 5 crypto gaming projects of 2022. This one is definitely in there as well. So they're backed by, you know, good companies out there, and they have a roadmap. So as for a game that they launched, this one looks very, very promising, which is a good bonus, a good like positive for Solrazr as a launchpad. Now we'll get to this in a second. Let's go through the tier system so you guys kind of know what I'm talking about first. Here we have the tier system. So there's 4 different levels really, and then you have the last one as well, which kind of gets the leftover part of the allocation that hasn't been given out yet. They've thought it through. I really like their tier system. There's 4 levels: Seed, Sapling, Tree, Mighty Oak. Weightage, that's just your like the pool weight, how much of the pool weight you're actually getting. So you need 500 tokens, 2,500 tokens, 12,500 and 50,000. Of course, my Excel sheet, let's quickly calculate what that means. Here's the price. So I put it in already, which was $1.51, and then it dropped again, but cool. Let's go for the $1.50. $1.50, right? So we have for the lowest one 500, the other one was 2,500. After that, how much was it? Let's see, 12,500 and 50,000. So 12,500 and 50,000, right? So pretty cheap. As I said before, it is actually very, very, very cheap to get in this, right? What do? Is we do this times the current price is of course $750 for the lowest tier, which is almost nothing compared to a lot of other launchpads out there. But we're kind of interested in knowing what the price is of the highest tier. Of course, highest tier gets highest allocation. Usually, if done well, gets highest amount of profit as well. So 75,000, which is a lot, right? Nobody would really just throw in $75,000 into a launchpad that hasn't fully proven themselves for a longer period of time yet. At least I wouldn't do that. But one of these two are definitely worth it and doable as well. Depends a little bit on your budget. I would get started here. Probably I would get started not in the lowest. I would get started in the second tier, get a little bit of a higher allocation, get a feel for it, see how I feel like the launchpads are performing, see how I feel like the communication is with the team through Telegram, etc. See how much money it's actually giving me and earning me, and then from there decide if I would want to get into the next tier, yes or no, right? So easy entry point with $750, and then for the people with a bit of a smaller budget compared to $18,000 or $19,000 is still a lot of money to lock into a launchpad. But going from $750 to $3,750 means that you only need to put in $3,000 extra. Let's say you're here, you have done 2 or 3 IDOs, you made a bit of money on that. You can of course use that money as well. Then you just need a couple of $1,000s to get a higher tier, which makes sense, right? But they have another one as well, which is called Soil, and that's just the leftover. They get like the leftover bits. You only need to stake 100 tokens, which is $150, and a minimum of 25% allocation left over from the rest of the tiers goes to them. What does that mean? They've made a post out on it here on Medium. The allocation model update, review, and changes. So this is a pretty cool article, pretty how do you say that, detailed. At least they explain very well of what it kind of means with their tier system, how you have to look at it. As we said to start 2022 with a big bang, we're excited to share how our IDO allocation model performed so far in 2021 and what we can expect moving forward. So we urge you to read this article thoroughly. All right, cool. Solrazr, I think it's called Solrazr at least. Solrazr doesn't really make sense. You guys let me know if I have it wrong or not. So Solrazr IDO allocation. If you participated in any of our IDOs, you know the following. If you didn't, don't worry, it's simple. Each IDO has 2 pools. So the Solrazr pool, which requires a minimum of 100 Sol, and then the open pool, which is for everybody, where you only need to hold $10 worth of Sol tokens, right? So how it performed in 2021, so there's 5 tiers, there really is 4, and then you have the soil one for the leftovers, the mighty oak, the tree, sapling, seed, soil. Each of the top 4 tiers, so the mighty oak, tree, sapling, and seed, get a dedicated allocation from the total pool, and soil only gets 25% of the leftover. So that means if the first 4 tiers fully get everything, there's nothing left over for soil. If there is, let's say in a simple equation, there's $10,000 still left over, then 25%, so $2,500 goes to the soil, that then gets spread out over everybody in that pool, and the other $7,500 that's left over goes back again to the first 4 tiers that can have like a first come first serve type of system probably. According to their allocation model, 86% of the total pool is allocated to the top 3 tiers. Now this is cool. Why? Is because the top 3 tiers, that means not the seeds tier, so not the one with 500 tokens, so not the one of $750, but the other 3, right? They get 86% of the total allocation, which is a lot, and only 14% is allocated to the seed, right? Well, you would think, all right, cool, so the seed doesn't really make sense, then it's not worth it to get in the seed. But this is cool. We would like to share some data that will prove how our unique model works greatly to benefit all tiers. So as well, I said it at the start, all the smaller tiers here have quite a lot of benefits from participating in it as well, and they explain it here. So the seed and the soil tiers will be happy to see the numbers, and we have an update for them. All right, read now. After looking at the average allocations so far, so this is what they've set out according to their model, but what actually happens in practice, what's actually the real truth, what is actually happening is that the top 3 tiers only took 29% of the total pool, and 71% was taken by the seed and the soil. So a lot of percentages goes to the seed and soil. Why is that? Simply because there's more people in seed and more people in the first 2 tiers than in the top 3 tiers, right? And they can have a lot of allocation available for the top 3 tiers, but if there's not enough people there, then they're not going to just throw away that allocation. They're going to spread it out over the other ones, right? So they make like an even, fairly spread out, or they're fairly spread it out over everybody. Wonder how this happened? This is how. We kept allocation per user based on the number of tickets and the tier they belong to. Although, so we saw that in the other one is 250 for the highest one, 200, 150, 150. Although 86% of the pool is reserved for the top 3, they managed to take up only an average of 29% across all IDOs. So far, due to the individual hard cap, in other words, fewer wallets are staking in the top 3 tiers. And any allocation not taken by these tiers, top 3 tiers, goes down to seed and soil, and that's why they have 71%. So that's pretty awesome, because it means that you're not just going into the lower tier and getting a very small allocation and everything goes to the higher tier, but it means that when there's not enough people sitting in the higher tier level, they just manage to spread it out a little bit more over how many addresses are participating in the IDOs, right? Also does mean probably that if you do go into the higher tier system, that there's a lot of room for more allocation available, right? So what to expect moving forward? We expect these numbers to remain roughly the same or largely the same, unless more wallets go into the top tier. It's not like suddenly, I don't know, there's thousands of people going into the highest tier. So that means it's probably going to stay the same for a while. And they will also disband the open pool and divert the allocation back to the Solrazr pool. This is a massive change, as Solrazr stakers will now get access to an additional 20% of the funds, and we expect seed and soil users to benefit mainly from it for the reasons explained above. Which is pretty awesome, right? Additional updates, we will only have Solrazr pool for the upcoming IDOs, except for special launches like Chingari, whitelist applications, Mighty Oak, Tree, and Saplings. They don't need to go through social media tasks during the whitelist, although they would obviously prefer to. And seed and soil, they must go through all the social tasks. Right, so that's a pretty awesome setup. So now we know that even the lower tiers, seed and soil, or probably let's go for seed, because this is you don't know whether there's going to be leftover, yes or no. You want to have control in your own hands, right? Take matter in your own hands. So let's see. Let's look at seed as the number 1 tier, and not soil. That means even with seed, it's pretty awesome to know that there's so much allocation that is available going towards these tiers, right? All right, cool. So let's go back to the projects, because that's where we were. Starbucks, we just went through it. Let's not look at these too much because they haven't launched yet, so there's not that much available. But Battle of Guardians has just been, or is still open, is going on now, and Hubble is coming up, right? What we want to look at is the ones that have been already. So we want to know which projects have launched and how they've performed. So what we can do here is just quickly open all of them. It's not that many. And see what information we can get. Yeah, just had these. Let's see. Synchro. I believe this one did pretty well. Synchrony. Hashtag. Oh, maybe that's the one that did well. And Uranium we already opened up. Is that correct? Alright, cool. We'll just have to quickly go through all of them and see what the information is that we can get. Uranium, IDO is closed, so let's look at the IDO price, 37.5 cents. But let's look at the dates, because not all of them have been already. We can probably look at it on CoinMarketCap. SOLRN. We'll just have to see whether they have launched already, yes or no, and if there's a price available, yes or no. No, so this one hasn't yet. I think if you go to the website, they announce it on here somewhere. IDO launch on January 14th, so that is 6 days to go. But again, this looks very promising, right? It's an awesome project that looks very, very promising. Raydium is an engine for esports, casual, and crypto game tournaments. There have been a couple of projects before, like esport projects before, that I didn't really like that much, although there's a lot of potential there that we know that we've seen in the normal, normal gaming world. So far, the projects that I've looked at didn't really do too well, so we're just still waiting on a project that is different than other ones in esport and that will blow the other ones away and that is gonna perform properly. But at least the potential in that sector is there. Esport games, alright, so you see Call of Duty here, which is awesome, right? Already launched Raydium Games, platform with over 1.9 million registered players. That's awesome, that is a lot. So we already know that not just only for the investors, but there's a lot of people playing their games. So there's more than 40 popular games coming, and the development, breathtaking tournaments in 200 plus cross-chain crypto games. Partners, again, Good Games Guild, which you know is positive. Dutch crypto investors, Holland represent as always. They're in it with like 9 out of 10 projects that I come across. Iranian team, 30 plus employees, 300 million projects cap, 5 successful projects so far in 4 years together. This is the team. All right, we're not going to go into much depth of this one because it hasn't launched yet. But at least it's a good indicator, right? At least it kind of looks promising. We'll have to come back to it later on and see whether it actually performed well, yes or no. Then we have X hashtag TTAC. TTAC launched for 25 cents. Let's see what the information is that we have on XTAC. There we go. What did it say? 25 cents? 25 cents. So that's a 3x so far. When did it actually launch? We can see all the information here. $250,000 was raised. Allocation amount was 200. Open to those who staked. So is there a different tier system in here as well? Doesn't look like it. Open community pool size 50,000. So there's an open community pool size, allocation amount $100. Number of whitelist spots were 1,000. There was 1,000 spots available. So if you were whitelisted, you get a guaranteed $50 allocation. $50 is actually quite a lot. It might not seem like a lot, but it actually is compared to most Launchpads these days. There are some, I made a video on AnyPad, most of you guys have seen it, which is one of the highest allocation givers out of all. Sometimes I get like $1,000 to $1,400 allocation on projects there. But they haven't launched a whole lot of good projects. Age of God was a good one, but the other ones didn't do too well. If you're interested in that video, obviously go have a look at it. They have a lot of things coming up as well over the next couple of weeks here in January. They changed up a couple of things. They listened to the community. Very, very promising. But compared to other launchpads that are bigger, that have got a lot of projects come up, and this one has quite some frequent launches, right? Quite some frequent IDOs. Well, if you have multiple IDOs a week and you get $50 allocation on all of them, and sometimes you get like 100 or 200 or however much, and they do like a 2x or 3x, well, you can calculate your profits over a whole week as a lot, right? And this is only the open community pool. There's also a Solrazr community pool. You get a $200 allocation. All right, cool. So registration, what we want to see is IDO opens up. Token distribution was on the 30th of December. So probably the launch was on the 30th as well, which usually makes sense, right? Here you can see the, I really like this as well. The vesting, usually you have to ask for the vesting, or you have to even go to the project itself and check the vesting. Here it is all on their website. It's very easy to oversee everything you need to know. 30% unlocked on TGE, which is awesome, good amount. Usually I would say 25% is the minimum that I'm happy with. Anything below, I wouldn't really, I don't want to wait too long for too much of my allocation. 25% minimum, 30% is awesome, and anything above that, 40 to 100, we are very, very happy with. So 30% unlocked each month over the next 2 months, and then 10% on the 4th month. So that's all fine, right? Do make sure if you're from one of these countries that know that you're not allowed in most of their IDOs, right? The United States being one of them. But cool, we know that it launched probably end of December. Let's look at the total chart. There we go, $4 there. This does make sense. Yeah, so the end of December. This is when it launched on the 30th. So it launched for, what did we say? 25 cents. Here at the peak on probably during the launch somewhere, it went up to $4. So your first 30% that you unlocked, you were able to sell at $4 and you got it for 25 cents. So what is that? That is a 16x. So you had a 16x on your first 30%. Awesome result, right? And now even a little bit later, it is still sitting at 73 at a 3x. Usually that's the case. It goes up a lot and then it drops down, which again is one of the reasons we want to get as much allocation as possible from the start. So cool. We don't need, usually I use my my Excel sheet. I know you guys really like my Excel sheet with all the calculations. For this one, we could do it at the top of our head. Synchrony SCY, next one. Let's see how much information we have. SCY. 7.2 cents is sitting at 7.2 cents. So it did launch. Launch price was 4 cents. So just under like 80%, just under 1x. And then let's see the whole chart. It was at 10 cents already. So that was a 2.5x is the PB roughly. And probably during the launch, you were able to get like a 2 to 2.5x out of it, depending on when you were able to sell. Pool size $400,000, so that's awesome. That's massive. You don't see that very often. Which is the total. 300,000 goes to the community pool. Mighty Oak. So I do wonder with the previous one that we looked at what the difference is, because here you can see the different tiers, and with the other one you didn't. So that might mean that everybody that was in the community pool had the same allocation, which was $200, and everybody was in the open community pool got $50, right? Here they have different ones per tier. Mighty Oak 300, which is awesome. Tree allocation 250, 200, 150. Soil, so even the low, this is actually very, very positive. So even the lowest, where you only stake for staking $750, you get $100 allocation. Well, that's something you don't really see anywhere. So that's awesome. That's very, very promising. Very, very positive. I'd be very happy if I got $100 allocation when only staking $750. No, wait, hold up. That's not even correct. No, wait. This one is, my bad, seed. So soil is even lower. Soil is staking 100 tokens, which is $150. So you almost get the same amount of allocation as you staked for. Seed is this one. So the $750 allocation or staking gives you $150 allocation. You're still following? So $750 stake gives you $150 allocation. That's actually very, very awesome. As you can see, I'm excited. All right, cool. So next one, open pool, community pool. That's $100 allocation there. Allocation amount $50. What you have to do, simply fill out the whitelist spot. Hope you get one, and there's 2,000 spots available. Amount to be held in wallet from the time of applying for the whitelist to the end of the IDO is 4. So for this one, to participate in this one, you need to hold barely anything, nothing. Fill out the whitelist spot and hope you get allocation. So for the people that don't really like staking, for the people that don't really want to hold coins, this is actually very awesome as well. Why? Is because you just hold $10, which is barely anything. Fill out the whitelist spot. Probably will be the case that you don't always get allocation. You're not always part of the launch, right? Part of the IDOs. You might miss out, but you will definitely have it every once in a while, and you get a $50 allocation there. Bang. So the key dates. These are the dates when they launch. Token distribution is on the 5th, which has been 3 days ago. All right, which bang, 100% on TGE. This is awesome. I'm excited. So $100 at TGE. So you were able to sell, if you did well, at roughly 2.5x. That means if we do a quick, simple calculation, if you staked $750, right, you got a $150 allocation that you were able to sell at roughly a 2.5x. So you had $375 out of it straight away on the day itself. That means you've already earned 50% of your staking amount back, and you don't have to wait for any further vesting and tokens and coins. You do another one of these launches, or you have another launch that does a little bit better, and you earned all the money that you've staked back, and you're sitting in it for free, which is awesome, right? All right, cool. Next one was, we're slowing down a little bit. I'm too excited. All right, raise fi. Let's see raise fi. Let's see if this one has launched already. 38 cents, and it was at 4 cents. Bang, awesome. All right, let's see the vesting quickly. Let's go to the vesting. 100% at TGE. So did it do better at the start? Yes or no? Yes, it very much did. Whoa. All right, cool. So far, this is looking like one of the best launch pads I've reviewed. 84 cents. So let's say you wouldn't be able to sell all the way at the top. You probably sold somewhere in between of the 75 and 80 cents, right? I think that's a very good goal. You don't always just aim for the top, right? If you're one of the guys that it's not just with launchpads and IDOs, but overall just holding coins, trading coins. If you're one of those people that tries to buy at the very minimum and sell at the very top, you're most likely to lose money, right? What happens is you're waiting for that bottom and you feel like, oh, it's gonna go down more and more and more, and then it doesn't, and then it goes back up and you miss out and you end up either not buying, right? Same goes at the top. It's going up and up and up, and you haven't taken profit on the way up. It is sitting at the top, and you feel like it's gonna go up more, and then it doesn't, so it drops back down. You're bummed out because you wanted to sell at the top. Now you're not selling anymore at all, and you're just waiting, and then it just drops back down, and you've missed out on all the profits that you could have had, right? Basic trading lessons 101. So here, let's say you sold in 75 cents and 80 cents. That means that 100% TGE, you got for 4 cents. That's a 20x on your investment straight away. So let's do the same calculation again. Here you got $150 allocation. You now have $3,000 that you get straight away. 100% of it you get paid out. $3,000. You've only staked $750. You have $2,250 profit there. If you just take your staking, you just put it aside, leave it there. You now have $2,250. You got $3,000 profit, but you got $2,250 that you're able to trade with. You just leave this there. You might even be lucky and the price of the Solrazr token itself goes up, but you're kind of just trading the IDOs here for free, right? Whenever you want to, you just take this money out again. Let's not go into much depth about what the project's all about. We're just in it for the money, so we'll go to the next one. Oh no, hold up. Oh wait, my bad. Whoa, wait for a second. Miscalculated. It wasn't 4 cents, it was 12.5 cents. So just quickly recalculate. At 80 cents, you get 12.5. That's 2, 4, 6, 6.5x. So 6.5x is what you get for $150. That's $900. So still not as good as the $3,000, but still same thing. We just looked at the wrong IDO price. $900. That means you're in it for free. You got $150 extra. You put aside the amount of money that you've staked. You have $150 extra tradable profit already. You have $900 that you can trade with and play with, and whenever you want to, you can take the $750 out again. That might be worth later on again. Might be worth more. All right, cool. Quickly, last two, I think. Gary token. We can do this all day. Nah, that's not live yet. All right, let's just fully skip it then. It's not important. Raydium, we've already done that one. Wasn't live either. So that's all. We've done all of them. So now we know that even the lowest one, this is a very, very promising, in my opinion, not financial advice, but in my opinion, very good launchpad for people with lower budgets a little bit. You can very easily increase your budget here and move your way up. Cool. So what else do we know? What else do we need to know? We kind of want to know the staking. Is there an APY, yes or no? And how long do we need to stake it for? So this is the roadmap. They need to update it a little bit, I see. But Q2 2021, what they did is DevNet launch, done the fundraise. DevNet launch, done. Fundraise, done. Solrazr TGE, mainnet launch accelerator and incubator projects. Solrazr built V1, partner ecosystem development, and then next up they're gonna get Solrazr built V2 cross-chain pools. This is the team and the advisors. So this is VP engineering at Polymorph, acquired by Walmart's lab. 15-year plus of experience building highly scalable products. Awesome VJ, co-founder and CTO of an education tech firm with multi-million-dollar revenue, 14 plus year experience in building products, learning and edu tech. Cool. Nicholas Gregory, CEO of CommerceBlock, technology leader and Bitcoin expert since 2012, ex-vice president at Merrill Lynch, Bank of America, and JP Morgan. That's awesome. All right, cool. That makes sense. We see that there's a good team, experienced team behind it already. A couple of young dudes as well, and a young chick. Community manager, private group and analyst, technical chart analyst, 5-year in cryptocurrency market, crypto entrepreneur since 2017, helped raise funds for several projects via, do you guys say via or via? Investor communities. Head of growth, Launchpad, privacy advocate, community hacker, and business strategist. Built on Solana ecosystem, like we said at the start already. Solana is the fastest growing blockchain with key platforms like Serum, Raydium, and many DeFi protocols being built on it. Solrazr aims to supercharge the adoption of Solana network by helping developers and projects raise capital and build fast. So Solana itself has a lot of potential, of course. It has grown a lot already, but being so fast and being so cheap right now, a lot of people moving from Ethereum to layer 2s, right? Like Solana, for example. Meaning a lot of new projects are being launched, that a lot of money is being moved there as well. That's one of the reasons that Solana has grown so fast. Sure, we've got Ethereum 2.0 coming up. We don't really know exactly how that's going to function yet, what's going to happen with the market. I believe Ethereum is going to want to be the biggest cryptocurrency out there eventually, and it has a lot of potential with getting rid of the gas fees and the congestion, speeding everything up, which means when that happens, there might be a little bit less money moving towards layer 2s like Solana, but we don't really know when that happens yet. And in the meantime, Solana has a lot of time for growth, a lot of time to develop, and a lot of time to establish themselves in the market, so that even when Ethereum 2.0 does happen, that Solana is already established them well enough to continue being one of the bigger players in the market, right? So one thing I still want to know is the staking and the APY. That's all. Here we can see stake your Sol. Let's see what happens. Stake Sol, Solr, that's that token to earn IDO allocation and rewards. So stake, you stake an amount here, you stake the amount, and then the amount of weeks you will receive. So you get one lottery ticket per week that you stake. So you didn't even have to stake your tokens for very long if you just want less tickets. And your tier will be, because that's the amount of Sol, token unlocks when. So let's say, because we've set it for the smaller budget, so let's keep that up. We want 500. We don't want to stake it for too long because we might need the money again. So what does that mean? We get 2 lottery tickets and we will be a seed unlocking our tokens again on the 22nd. Here you can see the different amounts of pool weight and the amount of tokens staked. So if we want to be the highest one, we simply stake 50,000 tokens. The pool weight gets bigger, so your allocation gets bigger, but the lottery tickets become less. So if we stake it for more of a longer period, of course, we get more lottery tickets. Your stake, so I haven't staked anything here, of course. Leaderboard, one person has $150,000 tokens staked, which is awesome. How much money is that? That is this times 3, $225,000 staked here. Big wheel. Alright, so this is the different numbers. This is how long they have locked their tokens for. So there's a couple of people here. You can see the top guys have just got the biggest allocation. So there's not even people holding crazy amounts of this token yet. We can see probably, let's see, Solrazr, that the market cap of this one is actually pretty small still. So let's see what the market cap is right now. They've only launched August last year, so they've been around for like 3 months. Market cap is not available here, so fully diluted is 150, but that kind of depends on how many tokens are in circulating supply right now, right? So here you can see they've launched like in August. There's one link here without me going in it for too long. Documentation. You can see the tokenomics, right? Token economics here. The token economics. There we go. So you can see that the total, let me see, the initial market cap was 1.2 million. Public sale price was 30 cents. So right now that is 5 times higher. So the market cap from the initial one here would be 5 times higher probably as well, 6 million. But there's been a couple of tokens that have been unlocked. So it's only been 3 months. So as you can see here, linear vesting, there's no one that has a cliff. Here there's a cliff, 12-month cliff, so this one is not available. Treasury is 10%, so that's not available yet. Team and advice is not available yet. So there's been a couple of tokens released. We're not going to do the whole math here, but a couple of tokens have been released since the IDO launch. So the market cap will be a little bit higher than 6 million, but it definitely won't be higher than 10. It might be 6, 7, or 8 million dollars in full market cap, which is very, very, very small still, right? Which is something that we see here. Where were we just before? We were here. Which you can see here is that not that many people are holding that many tokens yet. So still pretty early stages. We can expect this one to go up quite a lot. So now we know we need to stake the amount of tokens for 2 to 8 weeks, and the longer we stake it for, the more lottery tickets we get, and of course the higher amount of tokens we stake, the higher level of allocation we get. What is also explained here lastly is staking in IDO effect, which explains to you stuff, I think it was here, stuff about the tickets, right? So here the minimum and maximum number of weeks staking is 2 to 8. How many tickets can be won? There's a cap at 8, which is of course 8 weeks. What do you get when you get tickets? So you get tickets immediately, and how many tiers are there? So the 5 tiers. Can you unstake? No, you can't. When you unstake would happen that you're free to unstake after it. Can you restake? Yes, of course. Here, how do I maximize the number of tickets? You can increase your staking period to 8 weeks, so you get 8 tickets. What if you prefer to stake forever? That's no option. How do you use the tickets? Once you staked and earn tickets, you can participate in the IDO whitelist. Connecting your wallet, number of tickets available will automatically show up, and you can choose how many tickets you want to use. Of course, using 8 tickets, as many tickets as possible, you get higher chances of winning, right? If you don't win, nothing happens. You keep your 8. What if you have 8 and you win? Then they get cut in half. So when you win and you are allocated, your amount of tickets gets cut in half. So you have 8 tickets, now you have 4 left. You can also decide, which is explained here, but I'll tell you quickly, you can also decide to only stake, use 6 tickets for the IDO, or even 4. And if you then, if you win and you have 6 staked, then you only lose 3. 50% of 6 is 3, so you're left with 5, right? If you had 8 beforehand at least. You can also choose to do 4, even though you have 8, you choose to do 4. If you win, you lose 2 of them and you have 6 left. So that's kind of like whatever you choose for yourself. Somebody doing 8 has a very, very high chance of winning. Somebody that does a little bit less gets a little less chances. Usually, I don't like the lottery system because I just want to have control in my own hands, and I want to know that I get a guaranteed allocation. But if you look at all the other positives of this Launchpad, with the crazy amounts of allocation compared to the small amount of money that you put in, and the actual results of the IDOs so far, even me myself, I'd be happy putting in, like, going for to get started one of these two, putting in this money. Even though it is a lottery, I would still happily put that money in here and kind of give it a try and just see how often I do get picked when I would participate. I might start with like 4 weeks, get 4 tickets, put 4 tickets in straight away, see if I get chosen. If I do, I have 2 tickets left, and I will straight away put 2 in back again, which kind of makes sense. Look, that's all we have for this Launchpad. Overall, awesome results, especially for people with smaller budgets. I think this is a very good Launchpad to get started in. Other than that, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions about this Launchpad, about any other Launchpads, please let me know in the comments below. If you participate in other Launchpads, let me know as well. If you lastly could hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you get updated on our next videos, I would really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video.